Welcome to the Sweatuationship room, where we discuss hyperhidrosis and all sweat-related issues. We bring you stories from people living with hyperhidrosis and how they advocate for hyperhidrosis in their respective residence and from the other side of the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, the hyperhidrosis family, today we have a guest. Our guest today, she's a teenager. And this makes today's episode, and by the way, she has made it to our third episode on the Sweatuationship room. Today we're going to talk about emotional issues, mental health related to hyperhidrosis. We connected on Instagram, and she's doing a great job. I don't want to take much. I don't want to say much. Since she's here, I'll let our guest introduce herself. The camera is yours.
Hi, my name is Marie Means. I'm 14 years old and I have hyperhidrosis. Primarily hands, feet, armpits. And recently I've just started to advocate for it because I know how people can feel alone in this, and I just don't want that to happen anymore. And I want to connect with people, and it's been like a week since I started being an advocate, and I've already connected with countless people, which is just incredible to me that there are so many people out there who need to talk to someone about this and about the mental health and about just staying positive. And I think that's really awesome that it's already just been such a short amount of time and I've already connected with so many people. But I am 14 and I am in high school. And I realize that this is a time in my life where, I think a lot about what other people think about me. And especially with hyperhidrosis, and I can't let that, get me down. So.
Wow. Marie, describe to us your experiences with hyperhidrosis. I mean, how was your childhood? And are you the only one in your family with excessive sweating? Just give us that whole experience. How was it living with hyperhidrosis?
I really didn't have hyperhidrosis until I hit that puberty age, I don't think. But I do have a memory of wearing these fluffy boots and on my feet, and my friends were wearing them just fine, and I noticed my feet were so sweaty, and I was like, what's going on? So I think it's always been with me, but it's never really started until that puberty age. But it's been a roller coaster, honestly, and it started happening just kind of all of a sudden, so I was very shocked, and yeah. So that's kind of how it happened, but I'm the only one in my family, which kind of makes it a little harder because I can't really relate to someone. But it's actually kind of interesting. My grandma's best friend growing up had hyperhidrosis way back then, and I think that's kind of crazy. And yeah, but I don't know if maybe my siblings, because I actually have 3 siblings by birth. And I have 1 adopted sister, but I don't know, maybe they could start having it because they're kind of younger, and so, but I would be able to help them, which I think is great, so.
And growing up, did you receive any support from your parents?
Yeah, so, they were willing to take me to the doctor and just have, are there any things that can kind of help ease your symptoms and, with treatments and stuff. So they've always been there for me just to buy me special kind of undershirts for hyperhidrosis and stuff like that. Like they're not like acting like it's not a problem, because I think sometimes it's like we think that like our family doesn't understand, or they don't even realize that it's a thing, it's not just like a minor inconvenience to have hyperhidrosis. But they've always been there for me, and I really appreciate that.
Let me mirror my screen. Look a little bit off. I think that works. Yeah, I look like I'm looking at you.
Okay.
I was facing the other direction. As you can see, I have my towel with me in case my palms get sweaty. But we're doing well. We're doing good. So Let us talk about school life. What are some of the challenges that you face in school? And besides Marie, amongst your peers, do you have other people same age as you or even older than you in school who have hyperhidrosis? And how do you guys address excessive sweating? First, let's start with the challenges. What are some of the challenges you face?
So I think anything to do with paper, honestly, like writing and just, it's like, it's a challenge. You know, you don't want to ruin your school papers and you don't want to have that problem. So, you know, you get a piece of paper underneath and you just have to deal with it. But also just in general, you know, sometimes other people don't even have any idea what hyperhidrosis is. And so they might, in school, they might kind of view you as different and strange because of this problem. And I think that's the main issue. But also in general, you know, sometimes it's hard to just focus on what you're learning instead of, you know, how sweaty your hands are. And you have that kind of conflicting where you're like, okay, I need to focus, but I'm also sweating so much right now, you know what I mean? So, but in terms of other people having hyperhidrosis, I don't know for sure because I don't know if he just, because sometimes, you know, people are just sweating more than other people, but I think I might have a friend who has it, and my father has a coworker with it, and which is really cool because we connect on that level, you know? So yeah, I do know other people with it, which is nice.
And in school, do they address hyperhidrosis, or uh, do you guys receive any assistance in school?
Well, I go to a pretty small,
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
I go to a pretty small school, so I think it's not been a problem with other people like ever being a bully or anything like that. So I don't really think they need to address it in terms of like helping us or anything. So no, they've never addressed that. But at the same time, I think they don't really need to because I think the other people around us are very kind and just accept us for who we are. So.
Okay, before we get into our main topic, I have about 3 other more questions. Currently, what the treatment, let's talk about treatment, the non-invasive forms of treatment. What are you using currently? What topical treatment are you using? And have you ever used any oral medication to manage your hyperhidrosis? So what are you using currently? And also explain to us if you've ever used any medical treatments, if you've ever consulted a dermatologist, and what are some of the treatment options that they gave you, and how effective were some of these treatments?
I'm taking oxybutynin. I think that's how you say it. Right now, and it definitely helps. I think it'll kind of last just like for the first half of the day, and then it kind of starts to wear off. So it's definitely not like the most effective thing. But I also have Certain Dry, which works really well. I would suggest that for any underarm hyperhidrosis. And then I also use Carpe hand lotion, which helps as well. So I kind of balance it out and use those 3 different treatments. But that's so far as I've gone so far in the world of hyperhidrosis treatments.
And which focal areas do you experience excessive sweating?
Feet, hands, and axillary as well. Although I would say that it focuses around my hands and feet, if that makes sense. So that area isn't as serious or severe.
Still on treatment, have you ever considered iontophoresis machine treatment? Have you ever considered?
That's probably my next treatment endeavor, I would say. I'm going to hopefully try that out. So yeah, I've heard it can be very effective.
And in the area where you reside, actually, you're in which state, by the way? You're in which state?
Pardon?
Which state do you reside
Oh,
in?
which state?
Which state?
South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Is
Yeah.
there hyperhidrosis community around your state?
No, there's online communities for sure though. So
Okay. Let us get into our main topic, mental health and hyperhidrosis. For those who are watching, who are going to watch this video, the reason why this is our main topic is because I saw it on your Instagram page where you addressed you've faced depression, and with your age, you've been 14 years. This is interesting because we need to know how you managed your depression, and when you're in that phase, how was it? How was the feeling? Did you have a support system that worked with you? So, Marie, kindly explain to us how the whole thing went down.
when I first started having it, I did some research and found there was no cure. I think that kind of started this feeling of self-pity, which I'm not saying is completely irrational, but at the same time, we kind of have to deal with what we're given in life. So I just felt like, there was no hope because I didn't think that there would be a treatment that would really help me or anything like that. But I talked to, people around me, and they really helped me just to bring me out of that dark space. And when I realized that people, they're going to judge you no matter what. And, I have really good friends who talk to me about it and just help me through that. But, it's true. It gets you down sometimes and you just can't get around that.
I know it's tough, especially when you're in that space. People, you cannot explain depression, and that's one thing. A lot of people will associate depression with, oh, you look sad, don't be sad, don't feel a certain type of way, but that's not how depression manifests itself. Hyperhidrosis, it's an everyday problem. Every single day you wake up, you know you're going to deal with excessive sweating. And this takes toll on the person living with it psychologically. So when you talk of depression, it also carries other mental issues such as anxiety and stress. Those three go hand in hand. So within that space, if you don't get the proper support, it's easy for you to get lost. It's easy for you to have these, or rather entertain suicidal thoughts. And suicidal thoughts, or anyone who's suicidal and they actually go ahead and do it, it's a series of events that led them to that state. So you've been 14 years. There is me myself who's 33 and I've faced depression a number of times. Now, how I deal with my depression is totally different from yours, the way you deal with it. You've talked about your friends. You have a support system. You have your friends, you have your family, and people around your circle. Not everyone is as lucky as you are. There are people living with hyperhidrosis that receive zero support, including from their main support system, which is now the parents. So what will be your advice for your peers who are living with hyperhidrosis? What would be your advice to them?
I would say your head up. You're not, the amount that you sweat does not define you as a person at all. So don't let it get to you too much, and also remember there's always going to be, there's good people out there who are gonna love you no matter what. So yeah, and keep seeking treatments too. Try different things and see what works for you. And if you can see a doctor, that would be preferable probably. So they can kind of help form a treatment plan to help you. Yeah, that would be my biggest advice. And don't let your circumstances in life, I always say, it's like, if this day hasn't been great, you can always make tomorrow a better day, despite like your circumstances that are happening to you.
We all have a turning point that ushers, or rather ushered our advocacy. So you as Marie, what was your turning point and what led you to advocate for hyperhidrosis? Was there a turning point?
What happened was I started looking on different social media platforms and looking for other people with hyperhidrosis, and I saw how many people there were, and I just thought, there's, what is it, like 1 to 3% of the population struggles with this issue, and I thought, of all these people that say they have it and the amount of awareness that's being raised isn't really evening out, in my opinion, and I was just like, it's time to make a difference. And the more we talk about this, maybe that it will become easier for the people living with it, because the people around them will know what it is instead of having to explain it, and they'll start realizing and being able to help the people more. So yeah, that was sort of my turning point, was just when I started searching up and I saw how many people struggle with this issue, and I was like, I don't want them to feel alone anymore.
I agree with you. If the numbers, if the statistics are showing 365 to 367 million people struggle with excessive sweating vis-a-vis the number of advocates who are online advocating for hyperhidrosis, it's not adding up, right? So I think it is our responsibility as advocates to go out there and serve people with our lives, because we are the ones living with this condition. And then we need to inspire and bring all these people on board, because the more we bring them on board, the more we advocate, the more we'll lobby for better treatments, the more we lobby for opportunities, the more we lobby for awareness, because also employers, there are so many employers out there with employees working for them, and they don't know, they're unaware of their excessive sweating struggles. So yeah, I think it's imperative that we push advocacy. And as HAK, I appreciate what you're doing at age 14.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a 10-year-old out there in the UK who's also advocating for hyperhidrosis. And every time I see young people taking up the center stage and pushing for awareness, I'm happy, because now we are creating a paradigm shift. So
That's
Marie,
amazing.
what will be your last word?
I would say everyone has a struggle, which I know, like, because we don't want to make hyperhidrosis any less of a struggle and just say, hey, it's no big deal, but we do want to realize that, like, this issue can make us stronger, and we can come together and just become stronger in our struggles, because I think it's taught me to be a stronger person. And so yeah, I think it's really great that we can come together like this and talk about this issue. And I just want to say that there's a horizon of hope right now, and I think there's more treatments coming out. And I see this, I just saw the other day, like, they're testing a new treatment, and I think that's amazing. And I just want to let there's hope. Just keep doing you, because you're doing great. And if you ever need to reach out, and please, like, DM me on Instagram, and it's hyperhidrosisawarenes with 1 S. That's my Instagram, and please just reach out to people around you. Tell someone about your issue, and if they don't accept you, then that's on them, not you. So
Is this something you see yourself doing like for the rest of your life? Is it a part of you? Is hyperhidrosis advocacy a part of your life?
I have, I have dreams. I want to go into the marine biology field possibly, or work with marine life. But I always think no matter what, I'm always going to have a way to reach out to other people. So I think it's always going to be a part of me.
And I encourage you to take this advocacy with you everywhere you go.
Yes.
And change lives, inspire, encourage, and teach the world. Teach the world. The sky is the limit for us. And I think the only thing that can stop advocacy is we ourselves. So let's keep on pushing. I know it's morning out there. So I'm gonna let you enjoy your morning. Thank you very much, Marie, for accepting our invitation and for doing this video. Trust me, someone is going to watch you and they will feel more connected to see that there is someone same age as Marie having similar struggles, but the way we manage our sweat, it's different. So there's always something to learn. So thank you very much, and I hope to do more videos with you. And feel free to bring others on board. I want us to advocate, and the best way to do it is to bring more people on board. Trust me, the way you manage your sweat, the way I manage mine, it's completely different. And the learning curve doesn't end. So thank you very much. Enjoy your morning, and we'll talk soon, right?
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. I always appreciate it.